Hey, what's going on everybody? My name is KingStix. I have a big apology for those of you who are keeping up with my unranked challenger climb. I ended it somewhere around D1/Masters. It got to a point where it became very stressful to record the games, and so I just played with no recordings, and I am now challenger 700 LP, grinding really hard with Evelynn. So I figured I should make it up to you by showing how you can carry with Evelynn in the late game, which is by far the most challenging aspect of playing Evelynn, especially in higher elo. For those of you who've been watching this series and have been supporting me, I really do appreciate it, and I hope this video will help you out. Alright guys, before I show you the late game, I need to show you a little bit of the mid game as well, since the mid game does roll over very smoothly into the late game. And this will also give you an idea of what exactly I was working with. So here we're setting up a kill on the Draven. I just killed the bot lane and we have a wave at their turret. So it's very obvious that their bot lane's either going to come back bot or they're going to come back mid. So we're just waiting here and you should see what happens. So Gragas is waiting here. He's going to try to knock Draven up, but I think he's either win trading or he bought the account. He's really bad. So he ult, somehow misses. Draven didn't even know he was there. Draven didn't flash or anything. So misses ult, clean whiffs it. And this is where I made a huge mistake. This is something you should never do on Evelynn. You never want to be standing on your teammates. It's the same concept in a shooter. If you're a sniper, you don't want to be standing right on your machine gunner because it gives away your position. Even though they can't see me right now, they can see my teammates and they're going to play accordingly. Where I would want to be to try to help my team right now is right here. So I should have pathed this way and I could be standing in the bush as my teammates push them this way. They'll likely run into this bush and I can kill them, or if they hover center, I can get into this one and kill them. But as you can see, I hold the same side my teammates are on, putting me in an awkward spot. Lux spots me, and my ult's up. Obviously wouldn't have done that if my ult wasn't up. Neeko comes in, great CC. Everything's decent so far. I missed the charm because Draven flash, and then Maokai, he comes in and I'm screwed. And once again, because of my positioning, I got low on health and died. On Evelynn in the mid and late game, you never, ever want to be the first person to die on your team. With the way your passive works and the health regeneration, if you are the first person dying, you are not playing her right. And this was a perfect example of me mispositioning here. The enemies are now pushing up the mid lane. I'm about to spawn in. I don't have many options in terms of pathing since they're already shoving up so far. I don't have time to really get around them. So what I want to do is make them think that I'm behind them if possible. But I'm also going to want to try to kill the Herald so they don't take too much. So in this situation, what would be ideal if I could get a charm, if I had vision of Lux or him, if I could get a charm on one of them, they would think I was behind them. And then what they would do is they'd all walk backwards together to try to kill me. And then it would let us kill the Herald. But instead, Draven steps up. Neeko lands some amazing CC. Since she did this, I didn't bother to try to mine F them and charm a backliner. Instead, I just charmed the Draven who CC'd. And it sets up a really easy charm proc. And remember, Draven already blew his flash from over here, so I was pretty sure I was going to get the kill. Now that Draven's dead, I can start to build up a flank. Since the enemies are running straight backwards, I didn't bother to run this way because I wasn't going to catch up in time, so I'm going to have to run a tighter flank. Tryndamere comes in, catches them off guard. I get in on the Sylas, we take him out, and now I'm going to try to do a prolonged chase down. Once again, try not to run the same paths as your teammate on Evelynn. I'm going to try to get another side flank and cut them off here. I really wanted to kill the Victor, but the Lux kind of cucked me, and Victor, I think he had a feeling I was over here. Alright, so some information we have right now that you may not be thinking about is Draven. We killed him in the fight, and we also killed Sylas, but Draven's going to spawn in way before the Sylas. So I could potentially pick Draven underneath this turret. He's most likely going to come here since there's minions, or he might come from like Raptors or something. So what I want to do is path towards this area to find Draven while his team is still scattered and spawning and stuff. I was also looking for the Lux who was in that bush, which is fine. She was paying attention, so I didn't get anything. I still got the golems. Here, it doesn't look like I took advantage of this opportunity. If my ultimate was up, I probably would have, but since my ult's not up, I can't really one-shot him. Still getting the golems, not too bad. Whenever you're walking in enemy territory like this, you need to be staring like directly at your own screen, like this screen right here. And you also need to be looking at the minimap at the same time. That way you can see pink wards quickly. You can see the exclamation mark over your head. That means someone's in the bush and they can see you. And you can also see if people start moving in a weird way, which also gives it away. So in this case, it's not pinked. I log this in my mind. Okay, bush not pinked. This is a safe one. I'm not moving up though because there's still too many enemies missing. And the moment I see 𝐢𝐤𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿 appear, then now I'm on the move. I check this bush. It's not pinked. If it was pink, I'd be shimmering and I would see the pink. I check this bush, and this one is in fact pinked, so that gave away my position. 𝐢𝐤𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿 isn't really reacting though, so I think I could just go for him right here. It looks like I am. I'm skipping the rest of the Raptors. 𝐢𝐤𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿 wasn't paying attention or just has slow reactions. �NiKo, great CC. I drop Charm, and I flash the wall. I get the kill on 𝐢𝐤𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿, and I get away. That's a pretty big play there, since 𝐢𝐤𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿 is really their only source of AD. The rest of them are just AP, which we can deal with. So now that 𝐢𝐤𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿's dead once again, look at his spawn timer. This is something that's huge on Evelynn in late game. He's on a 23-second spawn timer. I want to try to be up to cut 𝐢𝐤𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿 off and kill him before we can reunite with his team. That's something you'll see a little bit later in this game. So now that my ult's down on Evelynn, I can't do too much. I really am highly teammate reliant when your ult is down. Just keeping a close eye on minimap, trying to take as many monster camps as I can to keep a golden XP level, very important. Watching 𝐠𝐠, I path around him. I think what I was thinking was, when I was right here and 𝐠𝐠 was here, is this bush might be pinked. So what I'm going to do is walk up, charm him, and as I move this way, if it is pink, he won't be able to move in on me very well because I can just charm him and run away, or do potentially one-shot him if he doesn't realize my ult's still down. 𝐿𝐼𝐾𝐋 is out of position. As you can see, he has very little MR. He's very easy to kill. I'm going to path directly behind him, taking away his escape route. I drop Charm, come in on him, pretty much do 3/4 of his health. And now �NiKo's going to help me kill him. He actually does quite a bit of damage. Things were getting a little bit close there, but he doesn't really have the damage to secure a kill on us. While we were doing this, our bot lane was inting mid. This 𝐻𝐿𝐴 and 𝐿𝐺𝑟AGAS are really, really bad. I was camping bot and they were still hardcore losing. It was the weirdest thing. I think it's mainly the 𝐿𝐵RAGAS, to be honest. So they just inted mid 2v2 while we got a good pick. In an ideal situation, they would just play defensive. We get the pick, and then we could force down mid 5v4. So here we go. My ultimate should be up right about now. This is a perfect situation. A lot of times whenever people have an Oracle lens on, they feel really safe, and they'll walk right into you because the reaction times will be slow, and that's exactly what happens here. She's not really paying attention. I sidestep the snare, blow her up. I still have my ultimate, and what you saw there, I had so much health on that last auto, I thought I could have eaten it and lived, so I didn't bother to ult, but obviously in hindsight I should have ulted. �NiKo drops ulti, lands all of her CC, well played, and we pick up the kill on 𝐢𝐤𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿. It's not the worst trade in the world, but obviously I could have played it better. It was a 1-for-2. It looks like my Tryndamere is getting caught out, and so is the 𝐿𝐵RAGAS. I'm honestly not surprised. He does another hard whiff on his ultimate, and he's in a bad spot. Now that 𝐿𝐵RAGAS is picked and Tryndamere doesn't have ult, this puts us in a really bad situation, and the only thing I can do at this point is look for a pick. So basically what I want to do right now, just wait to catch someone out of position, and in this case, since 𝐻𝐿𝐴 was running away, I tried to mirror it, follow. Now if 𝐿𝐼𝐾𝐋 and Victor were both stacked, like moving together, then I'd want to come from an angle. But since they're a little bit staggered, it's completely fine to run the same path your teammates running to defend them. And so in this case, I line up against the wall, I go in, I one-shot the Victor, and we get his flash. 𝐻𝐿𝐴 does a good wind wall on the Lux snare, which saves my life. And I want to try to work my way around them. Lux has been laying lots of pinks all game. She's probably about 5 or 6 at this point, and a lot of her teammates have as well. We've been smashing pinks pretty much all game. So I can't run this path now. I'm trying to get all the way around them through this way. But Lux kind of figured I was trying to do that, and she hit me with the snare over the wall, but I'm still going to go anyways. And I don't think I actually get anything out of this. 𝐿𝐼𝐾𝐋, he's blocking me as well. So random. My ultimate's up. Looking for a potential pick. Victor's dead. That should stagger their team for at least another 20 seconds. Lux checking the bush. I'm hovering center. And then I go in on the Lux. My ultimate would have killed her, but she flashed. It's not a bad trade, my ult for her flash, since her flash is on a much longer cooldown. 𝐿𝐼𝐾𝐋 doesn't have his flash, so I should be able to get away from him. Not a bad trade. Plus we got the dragon since those two dingleberries were messing with me, and I obviously killed the Victor. Now that we see Draven's mid, this is a potential pick. Victor should be there soon, but Lux is probably backing since she's low. We see Victor here, we see 𝐿𝐥𝐻𝐿 here, and okay, it looks like I'm gonna kill this. I could have went and killed the Draven if I had a teammate shoving a 𝐤𝐤𝐿, but since there's no teammate there, the best option is to just collapse on these guys with my Tryndamere and Neeko. Drop charm on 𝐿𝐿𝐻𝐿. Once again, he's low MR, and we pick up a pretty easy kill. He's definitely the weak link on their team. Best option here is to try to get behind them, behind the turret, and let my teammates crash a wave. I see Sylas is mid, so I ward this bush to give us some vision. I'm going to check for pinks now. There's no pink in this bush. And I'm chasing down Sylas. A really nice position to be in is constantly in the enemy's jungle or behind one of their broken turrets. That way, whenever any of them step up on the map, not only cut into them for a faster route, but you're also behind them. So right now, Sylas has no real escape route. No matter where he runs, he's gonna die. I'm gonna drop charm on Draven. My ult's still down. I don't go in because I don't have a teammate. 𝐿𝐵𝐻𝐿 doesn't count, obviously. I just have to be patient. I have to wait for my charm to come back up off a cooldown. I'm waiting on the Tryndamere. If Tryndamere can take aggro, if Sylas is jumping out, then I can go in on the Draven here. So Tryndamere goes in, and now I'm going to close the distance. We get the Draven flash. Lux has no flash. Lux walks right into me. She does land her snare, but I procced her Aftershock. It's about a 35-second cooldown, so that'll make her vulnerable. What I want to do is get behind the enemies. I run into a pink, which freaking blows. I'm going to go ahead and break it, keeping a close eye on the minimap, making sure no one's collapsing on me. And now I can just be patient, go invisible, and come up behind them again. My ultimate is up. Neither one has flash. Ideally, I want to kill Lux because she's a lot squishier than Draven by 300 health, and Draven has a fat Bloodthirster shield. So I drop charm on Lux, waiting for my teammates to come in here, flashing on the Lux killer, ult away from the Draven, and looks like we get a double pick there off of that. I swapped aggro pretty well with my ult, getting out of that situation. Sitting on a 10-stack 𝐷𝐸𝐿, you don't need to feel pressured to get a 10-stack 𝐤𝐿𝐻 right when you get a 10-stack 𝐷𝐸𝐿 because you're still getting a lot of value out of this item. I'm getting 40 ability power total, which is, I believe, an $850 item, a blasting wand. Plus, I'm getting a 25% healing from potions, 100 mana. So it's basically a $1,000 value for only $350. Really, really nice item. So I don't need to go back right now. Instead, I can look for a pick since two of them are dead. A really good way for me to kill 𝐿𝐿𝐻𝐿 here is to either come up this way or to come behind him this way. Either way. Or if we get all the way up to the turret, obviously behind here. But we need to do something while two of them are dead. So I'm behind him now. He passed into me. I drop charm, walk away. I don't have ult, so it's not like I can really do anything. I think we just go for Baron here, which is actually a pretty decent play. It was either Baron or we were just going to get like one turret, so Baron's definitely better. We get the Baron, a lot of gold for all of us, 325 each. Another thing really nice about 𝐿𝐵𝐻 is you get 10% movement speed, which is a lot. It's more movement speed than any other movement speed item pretty much. For example, Trinity Force only gives 7%, and the crit items only give 7%, I think. And then some of the other ones give 5%. So 10% is pretty fat. So this is pretty much worst case scenario. Once again, our bot laners, I'm not going to say win trading, but they're both really terrible, especially the 𝐿𝐵𝐻𝐿. And right after Baron, instead of backing and resetting, instead they just go mid and get picked. In fact, I'll show you what it looked like. I don't really remember because I was buying my items. So instead of just resetting, as I'm resetting and 𝐿𝐵𝐻's resetting, and we're like our two most fed players pretty much, 𝐿𝐵𝐻 just jumps out at him 1v3. 𝐤𝐤𝐻 goes in on a bad 𝐿𝐵𝐻 ult. Neeko just tries to help because she saw what they were doing. And yeah, two of us just got picked after Baron. Really terrible situation. It's going to make it hard for us to even utilize our Baron buff. And so it's also going to make it obviously difficult to defend. But this is what I was mentioning earlier about staggered opponents and being able to cut them off before they can get with the main herd. The enemies feel pressured to shove this in since they just got a two-man pick. Look where Draven is though. This is a great ward. Oftentimes when you break an enemy turret, you want to get a ward down there because they won't know it's there, and it gives you really good map awareness, really good options, okay? So what I do is I hug this wall and I go around it. They don't quite see me because I'm awesome. And since Draven, I just saw him here, I couldn't go around this way because he would be past me. So I just cut the wall tight this way. And this is their pink ward. And I know the enemies are right here, pretty much, so I have to make this fast. I drop charm, smite him, I walk into him, and I kill him. And I think I don't have ult. Yeah, I don't even have ultimate, so that was a really high-risk situation. If I had effed up there, I would have died, obviously, and then they probably would have ended the game. So now that Draven's dead, Victor's foolishly chasing me, and obviously he can't catch me because, once again, we have 𝐢𝐤𝐻𝐿, which is 7% movement speed. We have the �ME𝐺, which is 10%. So he really doesn't have a prayer in getting me. It's not like they even have a Windrake. And I laid this ward here just now so I can see if they're rotating in on me. And now I can stop this wave so they can't really get anything more out of our turrets. Because obviously, so I'm not going to be able to do anything with them all stacked on top of each other. So I hit the wave, I drag the wave away. I still have vision here, so I'm going to come back in, try to get the wave or kill Victor. My ultimate is up at this point. I'm not sure where 𝐿UX is, so I'm not immediately going in. I figure she might be in the bush. So I'm trying to hold my position against wall and see what's happening. Draven's not spawned in yet, but this is another pick I can get just down the mid lane or potentially over here if red buff's coming up. So she sends out her ghost, so I know they're not in this bush. I know they're not in here, so I feel safe to move up here. This isn't pink warded. That's a safe zone. I move up here. This isn't pink warded. It's safe. Draven 1 second on respawn. I can just chill here. The red buff's coming up here in a moment. I see 𝐿𝐤𝐿𝐾𝐈. He's not coming towards me. I walk into Victor. Or more like he walks into me because I'm in this bush. I one-shot him, I don't need charm, and I walk away. If I would have needed to, I could have ulted this way as well to kill him and get away. 𝐠𝐠 gets a good roam on me, but once again I have ult. I immediately ult to evade certain death from 𝐿UX snare, and I get out of that situation. Really good pick onto Victor, which is going to give our team a lot of pressure. So Draven's mid by himself. This could have been a potential pick, but instead we're getting some pink wards, which is really, really good for me. I'm back in this bush. It's not pinked. Neeko's giving away my position. Big no-no on her part. After I crossed here and we saw it wasn't pink, she should have just backed off. I end up getting hit by the collateral. We do get a turret off of this. Good job by Tren. I'm just making sure these bushes aren't pinked and trying to maintain pressure without going in too deep. I dropped charm because they're getting a little bit frisky on my mid laner, but I wasn't really intending on actually going in. I was just trying to get them off. I land the charm. We get some spells out of it, but the Neeko does die. That was a far from optimal trade. I attacked the red buff to help Tryndamere take it quickly, and we should be out of here. Even though they have a pick on one of us, it's going to be really hard for them to push down a turret. So I just pinged this wave, and I saw Victor was clearing it. As this was happening, Victor was clearing. So what do you think Victor's going to do after they just got the pick? Where is he? I was keeping it. Obviously, why this is happening, I'm trying to look on the minimap. And I see Victor here. So what I do is I loop around. And he's obviously going to go towards mid with his team. So I'm going to try to cut him off. And I do get his flash. That's really good. And I'm just going to walk away. I don't want to walk back towards that because his team. So I walk over here and then I get a little bit more vision on the enemies. I know where they are. There's a pink ward here, so I have to back off because they know where I am. So I'm just going to run through and avoid certain death once again. It's okay for us to give up that Infernal. We don't really need it. There's no reason for our bot lane to be fighting 2v5 for that. I mean, this is high challenger. I'm going to come mid. They're on dragon. I probably should have cleared that. I guess the reason why I didn't clear that is I felt like I might be able to get a pick instead. Tryndamere's getting a lot of pressure, so someone else might be trying to back and I can fight like 3v2 or something. Coming up behind them, they're moving this way. I need to be careful around that tri-brush, so I'm holding my spacing until I can get some more information. I let them pass through the tri-brush and get past me. That way I can follow up behind them and not die. Drop the charm on 𝐿𝐾𝐈. Kind of tricky for me to go in here. I get off a decent combo, but then have to ult out. I end up dying, and we don't get too much out of that situation. We did get a turret, but I didn't contribute too much to that. I mean, staying alive and staying invisible, I did contribute a little bit. It applied pressure to their whole team, but me dying was really bad. Once they had gotten past me, I should have just let them go. I was being really greedy. Tryndamere getting some more pressure. Good job on him. I'm going to speed this up so you can watch me. I only have 10 stacks now. My �ME𝐺 feels bad. Our main play at the moment is I think I pinged Tryndamere to go for top. It's going to be much easier for me to go for this inhib, because if they see Tryndamere top, they're likely to match him and shove mid, which leaves me free to smash this. And I think that's what I'm going to go do. Open inhibitors for Evelynn are really, really easy. I was looking for 𝐢𝐤𝐻𝐂. I don't see him. I'm going to hug the wall just in case he's in a bush. And then I see him over here. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to run straight for inhib. I wait for a moment, I think. Yeah, I see 𝐢𝐤𝐻𝐂. I immediately attack. It's best to wait to break inhibitor until there's a minion wave on Evelynn. That way you can keep proccing your Q to proc your 𝐤𝐤𝐿, which helps you to break it really fast. If there's no minion wave, it's a lot more difficult to break. And then I back off because they disappear. I got half its health. I can come back here in a moment. I don't have to get it all right now. If I were to stay, I probably could have broken it, but I would have guaranteed my death. By getting part of it and staying alive, I'm applying a lot of pressure. And if we turn off the... Yeah, so it pulled these two guys back, which is giving Tryndamere pressure. It pulled him back, which is giving my two guys mid pressure. And he lays his pink. That pink's not the best. He could have laid it a little bit further, like right here. He could have laid it, honestly, right here. That way, if I was going this way, it would see me way ahead of time, and it would still see this. But laying it right here, once he gets back over here, I could still run it down and get the inhib. And I'm just trying to break the pink ward right now, but 𝐢𝐤𝐻𝐂 is holding the side. It's going to be really difficult for the enemy team to make a true engage without the 𝐢𝐤𝐻𝐂 flash combo. So I go ahead, I take the golems to keep up my gold and experience and to also deprive the enemies. Not bad. And okay, this is a really important maneuver. Bear in mind, I played this game 2 or 3 days ago. It's a memory of a memory, so I'm a little bit rusty. As I was doing the golems, 𝐢𝐤𝐻𝐂 came to stop me, right? And remember, I'm really fast because I have 𝐤𝐤𝐿 and 𝐒𝐺𝐼𝐻. So while he was doing this, I was looking at mid, and the enemies pushed up. If they didn't push up, I would have just stayed. But since they're pushing up, 𝐢𝐤𝐻𝐂 walked over here like a fool. Now I'm going to cut them off. And if we turn off the fog of war, as you can see here, 𝐢𝐤𝐻𝐂, instead of turning back around and getting here really late, instead he just stayed to push because he figured I would have stayed, but nah. Here I come. I drop charm on Lux, pressure her. I land the charm, and that bitch is fucked. She's their most important player. She's really good, and her shield's OP. 𝐢𝐤𝐻𝐂 then teleports in. He can't cancel it because teleport sucks. And this should be another pick. It's a 5v4. We really shouldn't lose this fight because we already killed Lux. I back off until I'm invisible. I start to heal. I wait for my W cooldown. I pop it on Draven. He's really dangerous. I hit him. He QSS's it though. But I get him really, really low, which should make it easy for my team to pick him up. Good job on the Nico. Victor is one of their weakest players, so is 𝐢𝐤𝐻𝐂. So this is a pretty easy pickup. I gave my team a lot of value in that fight. I took out Lux, who is arguably their most important player. And I also did like 70% of Draven's health. Definitely got a lot of value out of me in that fight. Also got the 𝐢𝐤𝐻𝐂 TP. This is going to let our team shove up a little bit, break pink wards. Okay, here's Draven. He's a fool. Classic 80 carries. They think they got a big dick. My ult's up. I can one-shot him if I land charm. I think I'm trying to get behind him here. Okay. So in this case, I don't go for Draven. My teammates got picks. I guess I'm just holding side. I don't need to go for the Baron since their jungler's dead. And we already have picks. So I know my damage. I know I can't kill either one of them without my charm. And Draven has more health when you take into account his Bloodthirster shield. And he also has a QSS. So trying to one-shot him isn't going to be easy. Victor, on the other hand, is easy. I don't even think he has any MR. No MR on Victor. And Draven does have MR. I'll obviously go for the Victor. So enemies, 9 times out of 10, whenever they're charmed, they'll walk back towards where they're already walking because they felt it was safe since they just walked there. For example, if you're walking out of your house and a charm shows up on your head right as you open up the door, you're likely to close the door and go back into your house when in reality, Evelynn was inside your house behind you. So this is basically what I'm going to do. And I'll show you right here. All right, so right as he is about to round the corner and he's pathing this way, I drop charm barely as he walks out of vision. Now, since he just walked this way, he's going to walk back into his house. So then I come to cut him off. And then I get his flash. That's a shame. If he didn't have flash, it would have been a kill. Oh, well. That's a really important technique. Evelynn late game, especially when the enemy team's staggered. It's really strong. We should pick up Infernal here. That inhibitor's still open. I pinged Tryndamere to go to it so we can break the pink. That pink ward positioning makes it really tough on me to get it. Taking my time, checking the bushes for pinks. There's no pinks. I see 3 enemies here, so I'm moving up a little bit. I don't see a pink in this bush yet. I want to get a further position so I can assassinate someone. Yeah, I'm pinging Tryndamere here to break the pink. I think he already did, though. So I'm just waiting. Evelynn plays really good with split pushers in the late game because Evelynn isn't a 5v5 champion. She works best in staggered situations since she gives so much pressure just by the enemies not knowing she's there, and obviously she can one-shot squishies. So right now I'm just waiting for someone to walk up like this. Unfortunately, it's 𝐠𝐠 who can actually give me a lot of trouble because he can steal my ult and ult away. So I just back away, he doesn't see me, and I'm waiting for someone a little bit squishier to come through. And this is letting my mid lane push, my top lane push, and once again, since I'm invisible, they don't know where I am. They're not likely to force an all in here, or even here. So right now we're just slowly building up a chokehold on them, and there's no real way for them to alleviate that pressure other than killing me. In that situation, 𝐬𝐿𝐾𝐈 was waiting in the bush. There's a pink ward. They saw me early and I had to ult out. It's not a big deal. It's obviously bad for me, but now that I know there's a pink ward there, I can play accordingly. So I'm keeping a close eye on them. I saw 𝐬𝐿𝐾𝐈 go towards mid. So I'm going to wait here. I see Draven's over there. I see Victor and him bot now. Now that I see them two, I go for the pink ward. I back away when there's all these little shits. I get ulted and die. Even though this situation does look really bad, and it is, I was way too greedy. I should have taken my time. I should have waited for this wave to push up. It's letting Yasuo shove up, and it's also taking pressure off of Tryndamere. But that was really bad of me to get picked there. I should have been more patient, wait for that wave to hit the turret, and then they would have likely given me more time to break it. See, Yasuo got turret off that, and the enemies can't really push out since we have them. Even though they just got a little bit of leverage on that, they're still in the chokehold. Even if they kill Yasuo, it doesn't really matter. He dashes out. Good for him. Nice. That was somewhat clean. Alright, here I am. Speed it up. That inhibitor's open. That inhibitor's open. I can get either one. I still know that pink ward's likely here unless someone relayed their pink ward somewhere else. So unless I think I can get it, I'm just going to avoid it. I do have my Rabadon at this point, and the enemies seem to have backed or are dead, like the Draven. Gives me an easy opportunity to break the pink. Lux has 2 more, so I'm not going to go back there. She probably just laid the pink back in that same spot. Instead, I'm going to path towards top where I saw 𝐬𝐾𝐈 by himself. Tank players will often be by themselves at various points, and their teammates won't be nearby because they just figure they're a tank. They're probably not going to die if we don't see an enemy. Evelynn, on the other hand, once you have a Rabadon, you can pretty much one-shot any tank unless they have more than 2 MR items. 𝐬𝐾𝐈 only has 1. I guess he has 1.5, but that doesn't really count. I don't see him. I'm just going to start to shove the wave up to give us more vision and pressure. I back away because I don't see enough of the enemies. I see more of the mid. I'm going to push back up. My wave's already pushing, so I leave it, and I go straight for the inhib. There's a pink ward, so I'm going to have to break this first and then run away. So I either wait for the speed, and I do some Qs, and I walk away. Breaking that pink ward is actually really important, especially in the late game. As you can see, all their item slots are full, so every time I break a pink ward, it's actually a huge deal, because they're likely to not get any more, or at least most of them. I guess Lux can, but the rest are pretty much full builds. Draven and 𝐬𝐾𝐈 are here. With 2 of them showing up, it lets my rest of my team choke them in the other lanes. I'm going to wait till I'm invisible. I come back in. I see him there, him there. This is pretty much open. Only person here is 𝐬𝐾𝐈. I wait for him to walk away. I start smacking the inhib. And then once again, I can just walk away. After I come back, we can kill it. All this pressure and the enemies walking back and forth like chickens. Just let us get a really good pick. And I'm obviously going to keep doing this dance back and forth with 𝐬𝐾𝐈. I try to all in him, but I fuck up my proto belt, so I don't quite kill him. I do get him really low, though. I can come back in here in a second and one-shot him. I can't imagine leaving this. So this is still open. I don't see the enemies. 𝐬𝐾𝐈's low. I have my flash. I feel pretty safe going for this. In between autos, I'm backing up. So auto backup in between my autos cooldown. We got a bot inhib and top inhib. Wow, what is he doing? I don't know why he did that. So let me go back and break that one down for you. This guy doesn't have any MR items, and I'm really freaking fed with Gathering Storm Absolute Focus. He thinks I ran away because I just ran away, and there's minions here. If there wasn't minions here, he would probably have faster reaction times. Right now he's trying to hit the wave and he doesn't even think I'm here. So as he's moving up, I'm moving forward. Before he realizes what happens, he doesn't react in time and he's just dead. That's pretty much game, honestly, with him dying. Whenever we finally go for this mid turret is with no turrets here on bot or top, whichever one doesn't have a pink ward, I can creep all the way in here and be behind the enemies, charm, and kill them underneath their turret. 𝐿𝐥𝐻𝐿 by himself again. My teammates are going for dragon, so I do cross over mid since we already have this inhib. My ultimate's coming back up, so I am going to turn around for 𝐿𝐿𝐻𝐿. If my ultimate wasn't up, if I didn't have the kill pressure, I wouldn't bother. I would just hover around mid. Drop the charm. I messed up my proto belt again. That's depressing. Should just proto belt after I land my Q. And we get Elder Dragon because of our inhib pressures. Something I really like to do on Evelynn, whether it's mid or late game, is you want to try to be the invisible bodyguard for objectives. You can catch a lot of stragglers as they go to stop your teammates. So instead of going straight for Baron, instead I'm looking for enemies who are straggling to the objective point. Here's 𝐢𝐤𝐿𝐻𝐿. Drop charm on him. Lux is hovering. If she wasn't, I'd kill him. Little does he know, I just charmed 𝐷raven and these two pilled off and he just put himself in a situation to die. Lux and 𝐷raven had followed this, so I charmed 𝐷raven. I probably could have one-shot 𝐷raven or gotten close, so either way, I put them in a really bad lose-lose situation. Come in. Sylas is dead. Now we can just shove up mid. Tryndamere gets bot and inhib, dies. My ult's up. If my ult wasn't up, I wouldn't have the kill pressure and I would just go help with Baron, but I figured 𝐤𝐤𝐻𝐿 could take it pretty easy. 𝐿𝐿𝐻𝐿 pushed up once again. I have the Elder Dragon this time and Baron buff. Baron buff gives AP. Elder Dragon gives massive ignite burn damage. So this time I use my proto belt a lot better. I should have obviously charmed him first, then proto belt, since the charm pop shreds their MR. But at least I landed the proto belt right. Missed my Q. And then I E, ult, I get the kill. That alone late game's enough to win the game. Now that 𝐿𝐿𝐻𝐿's dead, we can continue our chokehold, even though they obviously have the better 5v5 team fight comp. We're just avoiding their win condition, which is by simultaneously pushing in all three waves while I roam around and look for people to kill. There's a pink ward here. I'll try to break it once the enemies back off. I see them starting to back off, so I just go for it. Now I can go invisible, creep up behind them. There's multiple enemies dead, so this isn't that tricky of a situation. And I think we win it off of here. I just proceed to... I walked too close on accident, but... I do most of the base's health, and then... I guess they kill us here, but we should be able to wrap it up. I tell Tryndamere not to go for it and just wait for us. I'm pretty sure he does wait. We have 3 inhib, so there's no reason to just rush the base 5v5. Because they'll just CC chain us and we'll die. So we should just group up here and be able to end it. I should go around on one of the flanks. Instead, I try to match the pink ward, which is bad. I really need one of my teammates to break that unless the enemies back off for that bot lane. I catch the wave, make it faster for our minions. Sylas comes in on me, I ult away. And this really wasn't that bad. I mean, yes, I did get caught. When Sylas started to chase me, even though this was bad of me to get caught, 𝐿𝐻𝐿 put himself out of position away from my whole team to try to help him. As I ult away, then he turns around, which gives my teammates a lot of time to push up 4v3. So even though I do end up dying here, this was actually really good for my team. Obviously, I wish I would have played it better, but it's not a huge deal. We get the win. And that is how you play Evelynn in the late game, guys. That is coming from the best Evelynn NA. If you don't believe me, check my OPGG. I am the highest ranked Evelynn in NA, also with considerably the highest win rate in KDA. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it gives you some ideas and inspiration for playing Evelynn in the late game. Yes, she does have a massive learning curve for playing in the late game, but as you keep practicing it, you will get a really good feel for just exactly what you can do. And don't be afraid to gently ping your teammates. Don't spam ping them, but in terms of splitting up the lanes like this, it is essential. So if you see your teammates start to group up as 5 down one lane, just ping them. Say no, split. Say like 1-3-1 or whatever, 1-2-1, and then you roam around. But yeah, guys, that's how you do it. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. My name is KingStix. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.